Welcome CHEM200. This is the last meeting, last recorded video. If we're on campus, this would be the last informal time together. So we'll be talking quite a bit about the plan for the final exam. Also be reflecting a little on the semester and giving you any last minute information about the final. Also, it's important that if you have any last minute questions on grades or comments, so I have listed here quiz 6 and exam 4 grades, like if you have questions over those or anything at the end of the semester. I thought I got this grade, but the grade's listed as this. Please email me. I can email you, or we can set up a time to meet to go over any of that. But you have made it to that point in the semester. There is no longer homework. You are at the end. There are only 2 office hours remaining. That's Wednesday, the 27th, 9:35, and then I have this special office hour on Friday, the 29th at 11 a.m. So please let me know if you have questions, if you want to go over things. That's what those office hours are for. The final exam information will be on Canvas, and some of it I will also email you about. So you have lots of resources available to you to prepare for this final. I encourage you, come to office hours. I can give you any more answers, more time to get you ready, but this is what you have left, the final exam. And I really want to encourage you, as I mentioned already, the theme, finish strong here at the end. There's been so much adversity, so many challenges, and that's really my parting words to you as well. This semester has been one like not any other, and you have done it. You have made it, so I encourage you, with all the challenges, with all of the adversity, you're at the end. Do your best to finish strong. Come to office hours, get your questions answered, and then go into that final exam and do the best that you can. So it's been an odd semester for me as well, but I've definitely enjoyed working with you in person and then through this remote as well. So what you have left, I call this activities 4 and 5. It is one practice exam, but all our activities have been 5 points. So I'm just letting you know this is different. It's worth 10 points. Okay, so make sure and do this. It's almost worth a regular quiz. So that's the plan for Wednesday review. Friday, special office hour, I will go over that review exam. I will give you answers. I'll talk about how to answer those questions. So that's a really important part. Please note, I'll say this many times in this video, your final exam is on Monday, June 1st, and this is different than all the other exams because it's a standardized ACS exam, which requires a much smaller window. So this window has been designated because that's around our lecture time. I know many of you, your schedules have changed significantly, but this is when the test will open, 8:45 a.m., and this is when it will close. Okay, so please be aware of that. All right, so let's start with first activities 4 and 5. I really suggest, whether you print it off or if you're just looking at the screen, but take this practice exam like it's a real exam. Okay, what does that mean? Well, it's a 40-minute time limit, and there are 25 questions. Okay, so give yourself 40 minutes, do the best you can on these 25 questions, come to office hour and we'll talk about them. But you're just getting a sense of what this exam is like, because Dr. Sinkaset made this exam, and it's with the same ratio of questions on your final exam. What I mean by that is you have more questions. You have 70 questions on the final, and you have 110 minutes. So it'll give you a good sense, do I need to speed up? Do I have a lot more time? Most of my students actually take the whole time to take this final exam. So that's something you want to pace yourself and be ready for. And again, this is a big ask, this 40-minute practice exam. That's why you're getting 10 points for this review, because it's taking a big chunk of your time. So as I mentioned, this prepares you for the final exam format. This is different than you've taken. Okay, this is 100% multiple choice. Okay, and the multiple choice has only 4 answers. Okay, so most of the multiple choice questions I gave you had 5 answers, so there's only 4. So that's a new format. You just want to be used to that. But the review also gets you going on, the chemistry from the whole semester. Remember, this is cumulative. So This goes back to the very beginning. What were we studying the first few weeks on campus? What were we studying in the middle of the semester? All of this will be reviewed. So this is a good starting place. As I mentioned, office hours are on Wednesday and Friday. And this activity is due at the end of the day on Friday. So take a practice exam, activities 4 and 5, get done with the practice exam, turn it in, and then I'll have links for you to take other practice exams if you want. All right, so let's get to it. What's gonna be on this final exam? Well, the information that you need is that it's a standardized ACS exam by the American Chemical Society. And you may have varied opinions on standardized exams, but the reason we do this is an outside organization that gives a tool to evaluate how well our students do. So then when I write recommendation letters, I can comment on this student did this well on the ACS standard exam. So that means if you're applying to all these schools for transfer, they know the opinion is just not, I think you're a good chemistry student, but the American Chemical Society thinks very highly of you as well. So that's the kind of one of the reasons. Another reason is I could be making exams easy, or I could be making exams hard. This is an outside organization to say, this is what general chemistry students need to know. How well can you do on this? All right, so it's 70 questions and 100% multiple choice and just under 2 hours, 110 minutes. So you can see the window to take the exam is 3 hours, but you actually only get 110 minutes to take the exam. Please note the grade is based on the answer selected. Okay, so just like a Scantron, it is just graded on that answer. You can't upload work, you can't show your work, get partial credit, none of that. It's 100%. If you chose A and A is right, you got it. If it was B, then you didn't get credit for that one. You might like the sound of this. This exam is curved. Okay, what this means is thousands of students all over the nation take these ACS exams, and they determine the score for the exam. And that means the curve is usually, depends on the exam that we give, 10 to 12 questions you can actually miss and you still get 100%. Okay, so let me give you an example. Let's say the curve is 10 questions, you take 70 and you got 60 correct. 60 correct is 100%. So for our class, you would get a 200 out of 200 on the final exam. So what I want to really emphasize here is remember that this is an exam written by the American Chemical Society. It's not written by me, so they might cover a topic that I didn't emphasize or I didn't go over very much. The practice exam actually has some oxidation reduction reactions that I didn't go over in great detail. So you can see that question, oxidation reduction, you can get angry and frustrated. Why didn't he teach us this? Why didn't we go over this? Or you can just say, oh, that's one of the 10. I get 10 freebies. That's one of the 10. I'll move on. I'll guess because it's not counted against you for guessing. So answer it. Do the best you can, but count it as one of your freebies. So yeah, you're getting 10 to 12 questions free. So really know that, because it can be really discouraging if you see one question after another. I didn't ever see this. I didn't see that. It can be really frustrating. So just be aware that's the case. Also note, so this is my 6th year at Miramar, so I've taught 10 classes of Chem 200, and my test averages, so exams 1 through 4, end up with an average that's 1 point around my final exam averages. So that means the class average may be 1 point a little higher than the final, or maybe 1 point a little lower than the final, but it's all really, really close. So what I'm telling you is that the final exam is comparable to the difficulty of my regular lecture exams. Okay, so it's not going to be super difficult in comparison to mine. It's not going to be super easy in comparison to mine. It's about the same. But remember, that's just talking about the average. I have had students that have done so well on the final, it brings up their grade a letter grade. And I've had the opposite. Students have done so poorly on the final that it drops them a letter grade. So it's, a fourth of your grade, 200 points, 25% of your grade. So I encourage you, again, finish strong, do your best. And check out Canvas and my email for more information on that. And I want to end with the logistics. Okay, so you'll go into the module for the final exam, and you'll see there's two things listed there. You have to complete this honesty statement in the module before you can access the exam. So that's acknowledging that you can't use outside resources. You have to agree to that, and then the exam opens up. Please note in that honesty statement, in that module as well, there's a periodic table. It also has reference information from the American Chemical Society, so your constants, things like that. So you can open that up, download it, print it, whatever you want to do, because you'll need that for the exam. The exam settings are a little bit different also than my lecture exams. It shows one question at a time. You will be able to go back to your answers of other questions, but you get one question at a time. You get to work on that question, and then you can then go on to another one. Again, so that's different, one question at a time, and this is very different. The testing window is very small, 3 hours, okay? 8:45 a.m. to 11:45 a.m. on Monday, June 1st. That is the last day of the semester, as I have down here, and that is your window to take the final exam. So if you have some conflict, you need to contact me as soon as possible. This is the time, 8:45 to 11:45 on Monday, June 1st, when you can take your final exam. So please email me or see me during office hours if you have questions.